Good afternoon, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey guys, today we are working on these this actual BVW-75, but it's a CVR-75 under Ampex. But anyways, we are working on this BVW-75 Betacam SP. These decks, like I said, these are very good decks. They were a more prevalent one that was used and bought for TV stations back in the day. Most stations had these particular models because they were sort of the workhorse 4-channel unit. Like I said, guys, when these decks sit for a long time, they start to break down, and just a lot of issues with these things, guys. Especially this one. This one had all kinds of problems. Anyways, you can see we got it up and running again. It's now playing really, really well. Okay, let's walk through what was wrong with this deck. The actual loading carriage was really screwed up. Somebody really kind of jarred it out of place, so I had to go back in and do the alignment on it. It was like cockeyed when you put a tape in and going sideways like this instead of like this, and that was causing serious loading issues. I had to go in and fix that, and it's just from people forcing tapes in these things, thinking they're going to play and not paying attention. You got to be careful with this type of equipment. It is delicate. It is very made of plastic and thin metal and that type of thing. So anyways, as you can see, we got this deck working. This is a KTLA 5 news clip from like the 2000s or late 90s with Sharon Tay as the anchor. All right, and anyways, it's a sample tape I'm using, and this is playing back very, very well. All right, what I had to do is fix the alignment on the carriage, which was really screwed up. Then I had to replace, this is called your swing arm. All right, these go bad on every one of these decks, and it's because of the aluminum and metal configuration of the connections on these things, the way they make them. The aluminum bonds to the stainless steel, and they freeze up, and they just will not move. So as you can see, I took this apart after I got it. I bought 2 brand new ones. I took it apart completely and Duralubed it. Prolong lubed it, and the whole 9 yards. This won't lock up again. It will stay free. And it's a brand new swing arm. The old one was a complete disaster, so I had to take it out. That one was locked in place. So we put a brand new swing arm in. And inside, you can see, got another mechanism similar to that. I had to take that apart and do the same thing, that, oil and lube it and everything else. That was locked in place. I don't have a replacement one of those, so I had to actually rebuild that. So then we put a new belt in and roll pinch roller, and as you can see, we're getting decent playback on this thing now. And when you put one of these in, there is an alignment on these you got to do with these 2 screws, which is just as the height, and you got to get it right. So you have the tape interchangeability for the height, and you don't get any breakup lines at the very top due to the swing arm not being at the proper height. So there is adjustments you do need to know how to do. It's not an easy fix, guys. Plus you got to take the whole bottom of this thing out just to get to this thing. So it's a major repair. It's not simple. This is not easy to do. But anyways, we're fixing this up. This 75 series for the owner, and then I'll jump over to the one that I'm going to be working on, which is the BVW-70, which we'll be doing the same thing, replacing the swing arm and lubrication belt, the whole bit, checking the alignment, checking the loading carriage, the whole bit. But this is not an easy machine to fix, and you have to really, I've been working on it since this morning. Everything was screwed up on this. So after I popped out the old swing arm that wouldn't even move, it was so locked in place, I got these brand new ones, and you can move these so easy now. And that's what you want when you're replacing parts that are supposed to move very easy. The grease on these things, they would use a lot of aluminum on stainless steel, and when they mold aluminum around stainless steel, what happens is the grease that they use, for some reason, the metals start to bond together and they lock up, and you can't break them apart. and it's just it's either a chemical process problem or something, but the lubrication they use gets hard as a rock, and next thing you know, it's a complete piece of junk. But we did replace everything that needed to be changed out, changed the swing arm, lubrication belt, roller, and we fixed the guide mechanism here, which also had to be taken apart and relubed. That was kind of hard to do. That was locked up in place, so we got that fixed as well. And but anyways, it seems to be working very well. And I'm just double checking everything on this thing, because this deck always has problems. They do, if they're not really done right. You'll start having loading and playback problems. You name it. So here I'm just trying to test it for interchangeability, good torque, good tension, the whole bit. Doesn't seem to be any problems with the breakage on this thing. And we got all that fixed, and we fixed the loading. Sometimes you'll find out you can't even load a small shell. All right, it's kind of weird. You'll get a big shell. When they start really going bad, you can only load one type of shell, and that'd be like the large shell, and it won't even take the big shell. It's bizarre. It's completely bizarre. But anyways, as you can see, we got a large shell in there, and that's working just fine. And so you want them to be able to take both shells. If it doesn't take both shells, and you're trying to attempt to work on one of these, you're going to have some serious alignment problems. You first have to fix the loading carriage, or replace it, which in my case I had to replace it because I didn't have a spare to change out. Then you got to change the swing arm, and then the mechanism down there, pinch roller, belt on the drive. You got to take the loading ring. Everything has to be taken out to replace this swing arm. This is a major repair. You got to not only loosen it up from the bottom, unplug it, you have to take everything out just to get to this thing, because it does have an electronic plug for a sensor that's built into it. So you have to loosen up everything on top, take everything off on top, get the loading ring out of there. You got to basically break the whole thing down, loosen it from the bottom, change it out, put the new one in, and then rebuild it with a new loading ring. And it just, it takes about 3 or 4 hours. I mean, it's not a fast fix. It's a very complicated repair. I've done a lot of these, so I kind of know my way around it. But if you're going to work on a BVW 75 or the BVW 70, which is almost identically the same machine, you're going to have a major maintenance problem. A lot of times the carriages are screwed up. You definitely have to change the loading, the swing arm on these, and you got to prep that swing arm before you even use it, so the lubrication never dries up on it again. And you got to do all that, and another mechanism has to be relubed. But anyways, we got this thing back to where it belongs. It looks like it's testing out pretty good. So we're going to be wrapping this up real soon, and let him know that we're going to be able to ship this out. And hope you enjoyed this video.